Bryan Kohberger's attorneys are fighting to keep key evidence from being presented at his trial. The defense team claims law enforcement violated Kohberger's constitutional rights when they used a process called investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG, during the investigation into the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. All right, let's bring in Abby Davis. And Abby, the parents of one of those victims, they're upset they weren't allowed in court to hear all of these arguments today.
Nobody was, Brian, aside from the legal teams. The judge closed much of the hearing over concerns the arguments could taint the jury pool.
This work was not done lawfully.
In day 2 of this week's hearings,
I'm trying to understand the legal argument.
Bryan Kohberger's attorneys claimed law enforcement illegally gathered and shared the DNA that led them to identify the defendant as a suspect in the quadruple murder case. They asked Ada County District Judge Stephen Hippler not to allow the investigative genetic genealogy data as evidence at trial.
This is a situation where this identification was done in complete secret behind closed doors, and it's been continued to be a secret.
Defense attorney Ann Taylor says there should have been search warrants in place before detectives analyzed DNA from the crime scene and collected items out of the trash at Kohberger's family home in Pennsylvania.
There has to be a warrant to search these types of things, and there wasn't.
Judge Hippler pushed back.
I struggle with the idea that DNA left at a crime scene, that there's any expectation of privacy by someone who leaves DNA at a crime scene, that DNA can't be, as you say, searched without a warrant to establish identity.
Well, Your Honor, I don't think any of us can go out of our houses without leaving DNA all over the place.
Not go to a crime scene.
The defense is they're trying to pick and choose what they believe the searches are throughout this chain. And what they're leaving out repeatedly is where this DNA started. Well, it started at a quadruple homicide.
The state argues just because law enforcement didn't share certain details about the investigation doesn't mean they acted illegally.
Yes, IgG was used in this case, and yes, it did point to the defendant. But the fact that that happened doesn't mean that there was a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Attorneys also argued whether there should be a Franks hearing. If Hippler agrees, Kohberger's legal team plans on challenging why investigators thought they were justified in collecting DNA during the investigation. The hearing picks back up tomorrow morning. Brian?
I mean, there's no details that show that these hearings are going to delay the trial anyway, are they?
No, it's really just about what evidence will be presented during that trial, or what evidence will be allowed to be presented during that trial, and it's still scheduled for this summer.
All right, thank you very much.